Alright, guys, let's talk about something I like to call the elephant in the room itself. Let's talk about a title that is very deeply and very close to my heart as a gamer itself, a franchise I absolutely adored since day one, and that's of course Destiny and the state of Bungie itself. You probably heard it a million times and a quadrillion times about the same overall title, the death of Destiny itself. But nobody truly specify why this a recurring theme has been going on, especially on Reddit, on YouTube. Is always popping up. Destiny is dying, the death of Destiny, and over and over and over again. By over and over, Destiny managed to pull himself out of these pessimistic thoughts and still survive another year. As we are ending, of course, the year itself, we're coming to a brand new year, and of course a brand new lineup, vision and direction for Destiny itself. I wanted to sit down and talk within the community itself, gamer to gamer itself, have an honest discussion about the state of Destiny and Bungie itself, and hopefully we can create a bigger fuzz that Bungie finally listening to his own community and to the game that we all love. Let us be clear, it doesn't matter if you have a love and hate relationship when it comes to Destiny like myself. If you are playing this game in and out, depends on the season and the content itself. If you are a newer player or an older player or a gamer who's just interested and intrigued with Destiny itself, but you do not know if it's going to be a survival thing for the long run, let me be very clear, we all love Destiny and we all want to see this franchise succeed. There is no gamer out there that wants his favorite franchise to die. It just simply doesn't exist. But there is still some key point that Bungie, you guys have to listen. There's some key points within Destiny itself that has been lingering and been staggering within the community, that has been nagging an ours, and it still hasn't been changed yet. It's becoming such an annoying factor and a nuisance thing that recently the player base within Destiny itself dropped himself within staggering below 20,000 players itself. For a game that has been long known as the looter shooter itself, there was no game within the market itself was even remotely good at dominated a looter shooter genre as Destiny itself. Many games came and tried to dethrone Destiny. From Anthem and any other games, tried to dethrone Destiny as the Destiny killers, but none of them ever succeeded for 10 years long. Of course, Destiny after 10 years, now it comes to a full end. Now we are sitting back as a community, unsurprisingly on the stage that Destiny is right now. But before I try to put the bullet points into emotion itself, I want to be very clear that it is not me criticizing Destiny now whatsoever, me trying to do a rant video, but me trying to summarize the key problems within the community itself, what have been lingering within Destiny itself, and still hasn't changed yet. And hopefully within those 5 points of more, we can find a common ground and even solutions itself. And hopefully you can find solutions as well and ideas within the comments down below, and we can create a good motion of the dialogue between gamer to gamer itself. Alright? The very first thing I want to discuss with you guys is, of course, as we all know, is the Lightfall disappointments that is simply unsurprisingly if it comes to the Destiny community itself. Lightfall itself was simply a terrible campaign. If you're trying to compare it side by side with the predecessor, the Witch Queen, which was an amazing campaign if it comes to storytelling, beat, tracks, and the villain itself, Lightfall was a severely step back. Since then, I had a feeling that Bungie officially has stopped making good games or even quality fun games, to put it to boot. They're only making games in form of profits, or to make sure that their friendship with the shareholders is only solidified. The final shape as a form of the newest final attempt and a slot finale of Destiny itself was nothing more than an attempt to please the shareholder itself, a form of a sunken cost fallacy, to make sure and to show them that Destiny still has a future and still can be fun. But without a true proper change of how Destiny and its core is, that simply won't happen. The second thing I wanted to strike here is it comes to, of course, the seasonal model if it comes to Destiny itself. The seasonal model if it comes to Destiny is significantly stagnating, and there is no surprise here. Seasons have become stale and regardless of quality. Deep is a perfect example. Lots of good things, but the model is just old. We already know what to expect every week after week after week. It's just not exciting anymore. It feels like homework. It's like a chore you have to do just to make sure you've managed to fill your quota. Regardless of the quality of the season itself, same goes of the Witch Queen. It isn't exciting anymore. Not much to say here. I think it's pretty common feedback that we've been seeing within the community itself. That every single episode that we are getting, every single season that we are getting, they are simply lackluster. There is nothing there for us to truly trying to grind towards to that really excite us in every single season itself. Lackluster loots, lackluster game design, and over repetitive season itself. And the third and most important thing when it comes to Destiny itself, that's probably the biggest reason why the player base is dropping so significantly, is of course it's based on the loot problem the game truly has. Destiny doesn't really have a proper system that engages players to grind after the loot itself. The loot is simply lackluster. There is not enough reason to play the game how it is actually, and I think that is the biggest problem right now. I think that is something that Disney and Bungie and stuff are severely underestimating itself and not seeing the root cause why the player base is dropping significantly. Just put aside if it comes to the repetitive season itself. Destiny 2 is starting to have the same problem as it has in Shadowkeep before sunsetting itself. The loot isn't exciting anymore. Deep and Witch are great seasons in overall aspect, but they still have their own personal problems as well. The weapons aren't good enough. They feel good and the form of design looks great. Some of the perks are okay, but just not enough to be excited to really want to grind for those specific god rolls for your favorite weapon if it comes to design, of course, and gameplay. Why would they change a winning formula? That's something I really never truly understood. There's a single biggest problem in the Destiny and overall is because of the loot and the looter shooter itself that is simply lackluster. The main reason behind the entire existence of the game itself, which is based on the loot itself, you grind for your favorite loot, and the loot in the game itself is simply, once again, lackluster. It's simply not engaging enough for the community to repeat the same process over again. There are also even less reason to play the game now, by removing the power grind, making the overall farming especially easier, and all those supposedly great changes. An idea and perspective and writing it looks good, but it actually drastically reduces the amount of actual play that every gamer has every single seasons, and of course the engagement that they have within the overall world itself. Bungie remove all of these things without even finding an actual real replacement for every single thing that I mentioned before. By doing so, they're actually hurting the game in the long run. Last time Bungie forced us with sunsetting, which was an absolutely awful thing, but in a very weird way it truly worked. It seems like the final shape that is actually great, a very great expansion if it comes to storytelling, beats, leveling design, feeling, supers, and the whole 9 yards. The final shape it hit and they fucking swung and they hit it perfectly. They hit a home run if it comes to the final shape, but it's simply not good enough, because right now we are seeing is a season really stagnating, with a lot of bugs if it comes to the season of the winter right now. The loots are very stagnating. People are not interested in the loots right now. Aren't really a lot of weapons or things of emotes of whatever into the game itself that we are officially grinding towards of really willing to boot the game back to be able to play it. And that's definitely something that need to find a form of a compromise if it comes to how the grinding season is between the past and the current ones. They need to find a form of a middle ground, and truly making sure that the gamers are engaged in every season and willing to grind those unique weapons and make those weapons amazing for people to really willing to grind it. It's not a problem to make it difficult. If Bungie is too afraid to make the content too difficult so the players won't be able to grind it, or they will give up too easily because the content is too difficult, the one thing I always say is just get good. It's very that simple. Make it the game challenging enough for the veteran players to enjoy it, and of course the newer players to learn the mechanics is necessary for you to be able to win your favorite loot. There is no problem in making the game difficult. don't think that the gamers will not be able to adapt itself. That's what we are gamers for. We are going to adapt to the difficulty level until we succeed, and we will succeed eventually itself. So Bungie, do not continue making the same mistake. Make your content challenging enough and fun enough for us willing to grind for it. Doesn't matter our player skill at its current state, but with reputation, you're only gonna get better out of it. It's really that simple. The next topic I want to discuss, of course, is the reputation of Bungie itself. Now, the game reputation is really a big deal if it comes to the overall player experience, and of course engaging new players itself. Destiny by itself is not a bad game, but it's often viewed as such. One of the main reasons is by Bungie's inconsistency with delivering of the quality of the works itself. And adding to this, basically every single positive thing about the game is always, but literally always, overshadowed by negative press. Staff have been cut off, weird things that's going on in the background if it comes to gender politics, whatever you can hear left and right, but the game is always overshadowed with something that is extremely negative. That is completely avoidable in my books. The perfect example I like to state here if it comes to the pricing in a game itself and every season of it. For example, you can have an item that is between $10 or $12 itself. By your own perspective, you'll see, oh, it's not bad. It's not really not a bad thing. It's an affordable price. Yes, that is true, but it's completely understandable. But you can also actually buy the same item with 1,200 silver and store it in game itself. Why? That is so ridiculously stupid. I understand that microtransaction is extremely important in every MMO of a live service game itself, but that's the one thing that's also truly killing Destiny itself. The thing I always found is that if compared to MMOs like ESO, my second favorite MMO, beside the microtransaction that is absolutely in every single MMO live service game itself, but you also have contents that is based on the same thing that you can win, or you can buy, but you can truly win it in the game itself. I always find that there aren't a lot of things that within the game itself you can truly grind and win if it comes to emotes, skins, beside the weapons, of course, but there's little things that make the quality of game experience itself that you should be able to win this type of aspect when it comes to dungeons, raids, and just name it in any form of challenges left and right. Not buying them, give the player the options to win those items as well by engaging himself in the world they are playing towards to. And most of the MMOs that I've played, if I come to ESO itself, if I want to win a certain form of an emote, I need to defeat a certain form of a dungeon and a specific difficulty and a specific challenge to able to have that emote for me, to have access at least for that emote itself. Bungie itself created a pay-to-win model, so I can get the same emote, but simply, by paying it with my hard-earned money. I find it a very ridiculous system, and always have been finding it's one of those things if it comes to monetization into the game itself is actually a bad thing, and it's killing the overall experience of the game itself. It's really killing your engagement in the world and of course your playtime into the game itself. Because there's no point for you grinding Nightfall, there's no point for you grinding dungeons, there's no point for you grinding any content in the game itself, because of the coolest stuff that you will find in the game, you can literally buy it. There's no point in you doing the rest of the content itself. The next topic I want to discuss, of course, is the topic of vaulting. Vaulting is probably the biggest problem why gamers are not engaging with Destiny itself. Vaulting was the dumbest decision that Destiny has ever done. As full stop, it's simply period. I don't care what you say in the comments down below, but it's simply the dumbest shit that Destiny has ever done. There is no way that a player that's new within Destiny itself will be able to understand the overall story of the game itself. Now, if I'm playing rebooting, for example, the Elder Scrolls Online right now, and I buy a pack, I start a brand new character itself, I can literally follow the flow of the storyline that I want to follow, from Tamriel to all the way to Cyrodiil, however I see fit. I can replay the 10 years of ESO and every single beat that I truly want with absolutely no problem. I can really be re-engaged to the game itself. I understand where the story of the game was going towards in its full 10 years. Destiny simply doesn't have that. If you're not an OG player of the game itself, and you've not been playing and grinding every single week, every single month, doesn't matter what type of a model they were playing towards to, you will simply not understand what the story of Destiny is truly all about. Unless you follow, of course, a lore hunter on YouTube itself, but that's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to have access to every single content that you buy and in the world that you are playing towards to, or at least have the options to have access towards it. Destiny has made such amazing campaigns over the years, and I find it simply baffling and ridiculously stupid it didn't allow other players to re-enjoy those beautiful campaigns that they created and in their own space, in their own time. By allowing the gamers creating bigger servers itself, if that was the problem that they created because they joined the console players with the PC players itself, then create bigger servers for people to enjoy. Then it's really that simple. But allow players to replay every single event of the game itself until the final shape or any season that you are right now, in your own space, in your own speed, and in your own time. Let them enjoy the full extent of the game itself and not only a partial of it, because there's no gamer, no new gamer here understand what truly is the battle between the light and the dark. None. Nobody knows. Because you simply can't know. With the timeline, the system that they dropped, it's not good enough. It's simply not good enough. That is, that is the biggest problem. Vaulting is probably the worst thing that they ever done. It's probably the one thing that truly put the nail in the coffin if it comes to Destiny. Another thing I want to discuss if it comes to the presentation of Destiny itself. That is probably a very key, a very small thing if it comes to MMOs, but it's a thing that's still something that bothers me. If you boot Destiny for the very first time, you go to a character creation itself, are you going to see once again a very mediocre and lackluster character creation itself? For a game that is 10 years into the market itself, they never truly spend the time and really overhauling of the character creation that you will be able to create your own Vanguard however you see fit. And game that's so long, you have other games that's much older than Destiny itself. They have a much more in-depth character creation that Destiny has ever managed to pull out. And that's simply a sad thing. Now, what can we do if it comes to reviving Destiny? I personally think that one of the key things that Destiny has to do is a simple overhaul of its full system itself. First of all, creating bigger and better server itself. Reinstall all the vaulted materials back, so every single gamer, no matter from where they came from, can re-enjoy the full Destiny story however they see fit, like in every single MMO is out there. Play the game however you see fit and choose the path that you want to go towards to and which storyline you want to see first. Third thing, they have to reinvent, of course, creating more challenging content where you truly engaging into the game itself, that where the reward is actually rewarding. Give the players the incentives to really grind the dungeons, to really grind the raids itself, or learn the mechanics itself however they see fit, however time they see fit itself, until they really starting to understand the mechanics itself. But at least the reward in the end itself is rewarding itself. Don't lock it within pay-to-win system itself. I understand MMOs needs to have a certain form of a microtransaction itself, but do not make every single engagement that you have in your game, if it comes to armaments, reverse trinkets, shaders, name it, it's all based to pay-to-win system. Allow gamers to win those actual thing in the game itself. And of course, another thing I would really want to emphasize here is a simple the overall, just make Destiny a proper MMO. Bring housing system into the game itself. Allow gamers to build a community with their clans and their friends in a really proper way. Because without a proper, for example, housing systems, there is no reason for me to go on a raid itself. And doing this type of raids, if I cannot, for example, have the master quota in my guild house itself, I showcase this is our guild, we've done this and we managed to do this as friends itself. Allow people to engage with one another in a proper way, because that's the reason why you have an MMO, because it's the player engagement, the player freedom, the interaction that you have, the opportunity to meet new people and left and right. And Destiny truly missing that. They're missing the core essence that makes an MMO such a lovable place to be and to enjoy with. Is your journey with your friends itself. Now, the main reason why this is so ridiculously important if it comes to player engagement, community, camaraderie, engagement, whatever you may call it in English. Why is this so important? I'm really trying to emphasize this. As you are a newer gamer itself, and you are, for example, trying to find a dungeon or a raid, one of the key things you always see is going to be experience requested, or something that is suggesting that if you are not experienced in the game of this content itself, they will boot you out of it. So what this is going to make that a lot of gamers that come into a dungeon or a raid simply lie about their own experience towards it, and so they like to be carried into the content itself. By doing so, of course, the raid leader of the whoever organizing the event itself get himself annoyed, people will start becoming very toxic itself, and because they are not moving forward in the content itself, they are trying to engage itself. It creates a very toxic atmosphere into Destiny itself. So that's why I found it extremely important that we have a proper solidified guild and community system you will have into the game itself, where it doesn't matter if you are in the guild itself, you have a real base community with a guild house, people can engage yourself, properly learn one another. Then the events that you are trying to do, for example, you can ask your guild master itself, can we do this event? I'm new into it, this and I really want to learn it. So if you have a guild house, a guild community itself, really the engagement itself, you can pop up to a different form of discords, of in-game chat places itself. So okay, this day the guild is gonna do this events and for our newest player itself. So within the guild itself, it will allow then the veteran itself with the newer players to truly help them learn the mechanics weekly, daily, however you organize, of course, into your guild. That is something I have been doing with the Elder Scrolls Online. We created an event, we posted in our form of a postmaster itself. On this day, we're gonna do this guild, our guild together, for example, with this guild. We're gonna do a joint events, and we're gonna help the newer players itself to learn mechanics towards it. And at the same time, we're gonna try to loot as much as we can. We post it and we let the people know for different form of post feeds we can have on Discord, and just name it. And generally people will engage towards it, the newer players and files, they will not feel that form of stress. You have to perform very good. No, just come there, enjoy the game. We will openly help you. That's why this event is right now. We are helping you right now within our guild, within our community itself, if that makes any form of a sense. So that's why I really find it important that Destiny has to work on creating communities in Destiny itself, and the best way you can create community in Destiny itself by having proper guild systems, really proper guilds, and real guilds that people can be proud of, they are part of. Now you only have guilds itself, but except the simple reward and XP you are getting, I actually don't see the point in all these ridiculous guilds moving forwards. There's a lot more topics I want to discuss, but I really want to summarize this video as short as possible. But give me your thoughts in the comments down below, whatever I've missed and about you think that should be adjusted and added to the game itself to make sure that Destiny is back. Let's make Destiny great again, as in a positive way, and of course in a beautiful way itself. I'm your host, Keishi itself. Thank you to my channel itself. Hopefully guys was engaging and of course was constructive enough for you guys to put a thumbs up, give me your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe yourself to the channel itself. I always stream on a daily basis. You're always gonna find me and ask me every single thing you want, not only during my Discord page and during my live stream itself. You can find the link within my YouTube page or in the comments down below. One click button away, you're gonna find yourself straight to my Twitch channel itself. Come and say hi. Once again, I'm Keishi, also known as the Ashalord itself. It's literally the little translation of the word itself, make it easier for people to understand what a word means. I'll see you guys online, see you guys next time, man. I wish you all, of course, a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. The best wishes for yourself and your beautiful family, and hopefully all your dreams, expectations for the next year come all to a fruition itself. Once again, thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. À plus. Bonne journée. Ciao, ciao. Ciao, bella. Bye.